Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a reading for Taurus for the week of September 28th through October 4th. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Four of Pentacles. This is basic needs. This is water, shelter, food, and fire. This is a card of kind of daily habits. This is a card of kind of going back to foundations, going back to basics. I feel like a lot of you are trying to simplify life. This to me feels kind of like our lives can be calm. Our lives can be gentle and sort of rhythmic. I kind of feel not routine necessarily. Routine sounds rough, right? Routine sounds terrible. I like rhythm. You got a rhythm to your life right now, and I feel like the kind of corresponding energy with this would also be like we're stilling our body, we're stilling our mind. Okay, so I feel like maybe in a legitimate way, a lot of you are going back to basics and just thinking about, okay, what's the water, shelter, food, and fire of my life? Because those are the things. If you can take care of your water, shelter, food, and fire, you can build worlds. You can build cities, villages. You can build, you can build a universe. You can build a reality, okay? This is that platform. This is the foundation. So what are the foundations of your life? And how do we take better care of those? I think this is a week of getting to those foundations and honoring them and making sure that there is a rhythm. I just feel that rhythm, almost like it's music. It's got a good beat to it, Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite type of music, genre-wise? Yeah, you want to throw some particular bands in there, artists, go ahead, but what's your genre that really has that rhythm for you that you like? Yeah. Let's put this card into some context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. We have a Knight of Cups. Very nice. We have a Princess of Pentacles, a Five of Cups, a Three of Cups, a Chariot. That's good. Double Cancer energy, too. There might be a Cancer person coming into your life, or a Cancer person that becomes a very important part of your life, okay? We have a Nine of Swords. We have a Star. We have an Eight of Swords. We have a Princess of Swords. I think it really is now a message to keep it simple, okay? That's how you grow right now. Keep it simple. Feel your way forward, okay? That's kind of the Knight of Cups a little bit is saying, if you feel tired, rest. If you feel hungry, eat something. Okay, but not just from that. We don't want to sleep because we're emotional. We don't want to oversleep. We don't want to overeat because I don't want to be like an emotional sleeper or an emotional eater or something, right? So it's really about listening to your body, listening to your life. What does it need right now? What's going to help me stay in that rhythm? Okay, which means nothing to excess. Okay, but keeping that nice flow, that nice rhythm to things. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it right over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck. And we are not going to name the eternal name until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video, right down there. Now, as we look around the room, we see two major arcana energies. The Chariot traveling to the star. The Chariot is you being loyal to your star. The star is your soul, your destiny, your dream, your hope, your wish, that distant goal that you feel, right? That star that you're wishing upon. Whatever it is that you're after in life, okay? Your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, your wishes, your hopes, okay? Whatever that is for you, the Chariot is in service to that. The Chariot is following that star. This is your ship, this is your vessel, and you're navigating by starlight. You're following your North Star, okay? I think you grow right now by keeping things simple. I think that's why we have the 9s over here, but we have the Princess of Swords as well. So we have our majors. We don't have any fire. We've got water, 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 air, 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 and a couple of earth cards. Okay, so the water and the air seem to be the kind of primary thing here. And I think it's about making sure that you're doing the self-care this week, taking care of those basic needs, being kind, being gentle with yourself, and establishing a rhythm in your life, a rhythm of your days, you know. I also feel like for a lot of you, there's something mental that you're trying to figure out. There's kind of a, maybe there's a plan that we're trying to sort out. We're trying to, like, if we get into that rhythm, you know, then maybe it's like a way of kind of like invoking some creativity or something like this. Because I think the absence of the fire energy, it might be that you're trying to focus on the basics, the foundations. And if you have those foundations, and then we sort of ask the universe, you know, I think we get that fiery invocation of creativity. And I feel like you're trying to invoke the fire here. You're trying to, and I know maybe that rhythm is you rubbing the two sticks together, you know, to make the fire. And you know, I think that maybe that's kind of what you're looking for, either trying to bring about trying to generate some good ideas, or trying to get inspired to write something, getting inspired maybe to figure out a plan for how we're going to get further down our path and get to our star. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is kind of following that passion. It's about really listening to our heart, and sometimes this is us reacting to things in an emotional way. I think a lot of you are looking for that thing that really inspires you. Maybe looking for a passion project, you know, ready to spring off of our platform foundation, right? Ready to leap ahead now. The double Cancer energy. It may be that you're going to be this week feeling this inspiration, feeling this passion that just kind of makes you want to leap forward and get on the road somewhere, you know. But I'm getting this message that, like, simple is better right now. The fewer choices are going to feel better for you, because they're really, with the Knight of Cups, there isn't a choice. This is what your heart's telling you, and you're leaping into it. You're obeying what your heart says. And of course, you have to differentiate that from just your emotions. So we're lucky that this is a Knight of Cups and not a Princess of Cups, because a Princess of Cups would be like, whatever I feel, that's what I'm going to do. That's kind of like we're being driven by our emotions, just the fleeting coming and going feelings of our life, and that's dictating our behaviors. But that's not this. This is not someone who's just ruled by their feelings and that's how they behave. No. This is somebody that knows what's in their heart, listens to themselves. I'm hungry, I need to eat something. I'm staying in that rhythm of life. I don't just have to eat because, well, it's 12 o'clock, it's time for lunch. No, it's kind of like you're finding your own natural rhythms. And I just feel like there's a swaying, almost like the swaying of the ocean, the tides, just kind of like, feels very gentle to me. But this to me feels like there's not much of a choice. It feels like Spirit's trying to tell you that the fewer choices are going to feel better for you. The simple things. Especially with our 9 and 8 of Swords here. Let's not make things too complicated. Okay? So choosing the simple things, finding pleasure in the simple things in life is going to be a big deal for you this week. Okay? And even if we think of the Knight of Cups, like, of having fewer choices, the things that we select, the things that you do choose, are going to feel so much more important. To me, this feels like a quality over quantity sort of energy. Okay. And finding the joy in the simple things of your life right now. Let's make that part of the focus for this week. Yeah. Down beneath the surface, you have a Princess of Pentacles. I think that this is, in some aspect, this is the resources that you have available to you. Okay, this is kind of like these are the raw materials out of which you're sort of building this very stable platform or foundation. So it might be an indication of like what happens when there are too many choices. Okay, when there are too many choices, we end up kind of selecting too many different things that there's no kind of cohesive structure. There's no organization here. This feels like it's just a forest. You know, we're just out here kind of like without a plan, just like wandering around the forest, taking whatever we kind of think might be the right thing. And there's no structure or order to things. So I wonder if something that is really welling up from inside of you is this idea that like kind of need a plan, you know? We need some kind of a blueprint or some kind of a compass to help us get out of the forest, to help us make sense of all the world. Because life is full of choices, right? Go to the grocery store, you'll see what I mean. There's just so much. It's just impossible, right? There's too many things to choose from. You go there, you want to buy water. There's a million different kinds of water to buy. What kind of water do I need? And so, you know, if we have a Knight of Cups. So we're trying to simplify things and just say, okay, I need water, I need shelter, I need food, I need fire. We realize that what we need is we need a grocery list, really, right? We need some kind of a plan that says, like, this is what I want for my life. I know what my goals are, and I have a general outline of how I'm going to get to those goals, because then we can navigate this forest, okay? And we can get somewhere. Otherwise, maybe we're going to be going in circles, and we don't know that. So I think what your soul's trying to tell you right now is that you need a plan that you can follow. We have to, that chariot, if we're going to drive the chariot to the star, we need to have some kind of an idea of like which way to go. And I think that your Knight of Cups is kind of like that compass, that sort of emotional, spiritual compass pointing you toward your star. But that's fine. Now you have your star says go north, your compass, go north. Okay. Going north, that's kind of vague, right? So I think what we need to do is realize that if you're in the forest, your heart says go north. You start walking north, you're going to have to, maybe there's a big ravine, maybe there's a big mountain, maybe there's danger, maybe there's snakes or something. You're going to have to go around. You're going to have to say, well, to go north, I'm going to have to go east and west and south and up and down and inside out and loop-de-loop and all that stuff to get north. You're not going to go in a straight line, okay? And so I think that this is kind of that energy in you that's saying we need some kind of a plan. We need a general idea of what we're doing here. A plan for your life that is kind of easy to follow. I feel like maybe you're somebody that needs a schedule, or you need, it would be good for you to kind of write down your objectives for the day, or to create kind of a plan of like how you want your week to go, and just kind of stick to it the best we can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be detailed. I think, again, the fewer choices, the better. So it's kind of like just sort of loosely structure your days. Yeah, maybe we try that this week. In the background here, we have a 5 of Cups. And I think that this is kind of a disappointment, right? The 5 of Cups is a feeling that we have that something should be here, but it's not. Okay? Something should be in our life, but we don't have it yet. Something is missing. Well, I feel like that's kind of what the Knight of Cups is after. And I think that it's really that this is that meaning, that purpose, this is that goal, that destiny, this is what will fulfill us, right? I think that, I think that there's maybe like you're after a more clear message or a clear answer kind of from the universe, or in your life generally, you might be kind of expecting something and feeling as if it's kind of not coming in yet. Okay? I think for a lot of you, this is going to be a past disappointment that then is sort of inspiring us to just get back into the rhythm, get back into the harmony of our life, and to get back to the basics, to go back to square one, and let the heart kind of try again. But maybe this time doing it with a little bit more structure, or a little bit kind of a loose guideline, okay, or a loose plan. Okay. Because I feel that this may be, this is a bit of turbulence in your life. Okay, it's in kind of a recent past position. And I think that maybe this could, now for some of you, the Five of Cups is going to be reason to say, I'm going to stop, I'm going to take a break, I don't know what to do yet. So it's almost as if you were kind of wandering around in the forest and you didn't find what you were looking for. So now we kind of just said, okay, I'm going to go back to basics. I'm going to go back to square one. Where do I start? How do I begin? What should I do? What's my plan? Okay? Because this is, again, something should have been there, but it wasn't. So it's a disappointment. It's not anger. It's not frustration. It's just I feel things didn't work out the right way. Everything was all good, but I couldn't find what I was looking for. Or it didn't show up. Okay? And I think that it sort of, it influenced you to sort of go back to basics, to go back to square one. And maybe you feel lately that you've been a little bit more in hermit mode, a little bit more just kind of in your solitude, just more kind of like staying home, focusing on your stuff, focusing on the water, shelter, food, and fire. And now I think getting ready to get back out there, getting ready to go do it again, to go try again. For some of you, that Knight of Cups is going to be your interest in dating or romance or your love life. Okay? For some of you, this is going to be a return to, I'm going to pursue my goal again. I'm going to start, I'm going to start working on my song, working on my album or my book. I'm going to put some effort into my YouTube channel again, right? So to me, this is kind of like making it more simple and just saying, okay, I'm going to get back to doing my dream. I'm going to start it again. Yeah. I'm going to work on that. And I think that what you didn't get here, you're going to get now. Okay? We got a Three of Cups at the top here. So I feel like the wait is over, I feel like I'm very happy that you're deciding to follow your heart again. Because even though you experienced this disappointment, you don't have a Four of Cups here. We're not in the storm shelter. We're not hiding necessarily from the storm. We're just saying, I got to regroup. I got to put myself back together. I got to get back into the rhythm of my life. I've got to I got to go back to square one. I've got to shore up my foundations, and then, well, let's go again. Okay. So to me, this is kind of like there's a storm. We did the dry dock for a minute just so we could fix the boat, and now we're back. We're sailing again. We're back out there in the open ocean. Okay. And I feel like this is a nice thing to see here. I also feel like there's this feeling that I'm getting that like the right words are going to show up for you when you need them to. So I don't know if there's some kind of a communication thing that's going on, or if it's like some way for you to translate what's in your heart, what you're feeling. You're trying to put it into words. I think some of you are trying to find a way, like a plan almost, right? Trying to have like an outline or like write a script about how you're going to express yourself. Maybe it's like you're a poet. Maybe you're a musician. Maybe this is at work, at home, at school. Maybe it's family. Maybe it's romance. But you're trying to find a way to communicate what you're feeling. And I feel like Spirit's trying to say like, the right words are going to show up. Okay? The right words will be there when you need them. And so it's kind of like just put your heart out there, like the Knight of Cups is doing. Put your heart out there. The words will be there. Okay? The Three of Cups up here is celebration. This is you really feeling good about what you're doing. Okay? This is Mercury in Cancer. So to me, this feels like an eloquence, right? We have the Cancer energy here for you, and Mercury in Cancer to me feels like it's going to be the communication of your heart. That's what I'm feeling with the Three of Cups, is that it's a very succinct, very eloquent way of communicating your feelings. To me, this is the expression of your feelings. This is you being able to ask for what you need. To tell the world what you want. This is you speaking the wish. Maybe it's like there's something in your heart that you want and there's something missing from your life, but I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to put it into words. I don't know how to articulate it. And so mentally it's kind of like, I don't know what it is. But emotionally we know, right? But when you have a Five of Cups and you're like, something's missing from my life, something should be there, but it's not there. Well, what is it? I don't know. You see? So there's that kind of, there's that relationship between your thoughts and your feelings right now. And this now becomes you realizing how to say it, how to articulate it. Because you know the feeling, that's not the issue. You know what it feels like. But how do you explain that to somebody else? How do you formulate that into a short word or a phrase that you can then, speak to the universe? You can make the wish out loud. Or you can write it on a piece of paper, put it in a bottle, and, throw it in the ocean or something. Well, don't do that, it's littering, but you know what I mean. How you can kind of turn that into a ceremony, a ritual, a kind of, an appeal to the universe. How can you articulate what it is that you want in your heart? Yeah. And I think that, I think you're realizing too that like choosing is going to make life a lot easier for you. That choosing to go forward and take, because the Nine of Cups, kind of an emotional risk. Taking an emotional risk right now is going to make life so much easier. Choosing from this heart place is going to be way easier than trying to decide mentally or intellectually. So I think there really is this trusting in your heart right now, rather than trying to logically figure out. It's kind of like you're gonna act intuitively, rather than try to research and write down all of the ingredients and all of the do all the math and show the work and do the homework and then still be like, I don't know. You're just making it simple. Does it feel good? Not in that Princess of Cups kind of instant gratification. Yeah, it feels good. But in that deeper spiritual sense, you're realizing that choosing from the heart right now feels better and makes life easier. You're being very simple about things now. What is it that you want? Don't make it complicated. Maybe it's just love, or it's friendship, or it's just, maybe just love. Maybe that's just like, that's it. That covers everything maybe, right? It's kind of like when you're making choices in your life, it's that emotional resonance. It's that spiritual sort of thing. Does it resonate with you? Does it feel right? Keep it very simple. That's what keeps popping into my head for you. Keep it simple, don't overthink it, and feel it. And you'll find a way to communicate that and express that, even if you're not really using words. But there is this idea with the Swords cards here that it's kind of like we are putting something into writing. We are making some sort of a plan or some sort of we are, drafting something that can be interpreted by other people. Okay, whether it's like writing something down, sending an email, sending a letter, or having a conversation, being able to express or verbalize what we're feeling, do it in a very simple way. Fewer words, shorter words, 1 or 2 syllables each will be better right now. The Chariot card in this position is that kind of devotion. It is, you're in service to your goals, whatever those goals are. You are getting a move on. Okay. This is a card of fortification, discipline, and self-control. Okay. This is about you, kind of like, having a thick skin. You're being vulnerable, but you realize that you're capable of handling what life has to throw at you. Okay? You're very capable of sailing your boat, right? Because this is kind of like, you're a sailboat, you're meant to sail. You're a writer, you're meant to write. You're a poet, you're meant to you're whatever, you're a dancer that's meant to dance. You're a business person that's meant to business. And this is you realizing that you have to be out there in service to that gift or to that wish or that aspiration that you have or that destiny that you feel or whatever it is that's in your heart that's sort of pulling you forward, compelling you to move forward. You're in service to that, and that's where your loyalty lies. You're headed toward your North Star, and that's what means the most right now, I think that this card for some of you is going to be a family thing. This is a card usually of kind of that feeling of safety and security, of being home, You know, being in your family zone, in your sacred space. It's kind of like the way we all kind of look at our house or our home as like our safe place. And that's kind of the Four of Pentacles. So it kind of is saying that the Chariot is you like leaving that kind of that fortress of solitude, that dry dock, you know, and you're getting back out there and you're taking a chance. Now you've got your armor on because, well, when you're at home, you don't need to wear your armor, do you? You know, so it's kind of as if you've prepared yourself to go out and sort of face the world and travel a certain path and make some progress and put yourself out there and be exposed and vulnerable, maybe emotionally taking a chance on your destiny, whatever your path is right now. I think you're ready to keep it simple, but take the leap, you know, and start it, initiate something. Okay. And for some of you, I feel that there is a new love coming in. They may be a Cancer person. It's going to be a really passionate person if this is for you. If you're looking for love, and for you, if this is about your love life, you are going to feel very passionately drawn to somebody. And you might not be able to articulate or explain yourself, just as I can't today, apparently. But that's okay. You're not going to, don't try to over-explain anything right now, okay? If you're sending text messages, keep them short. If you're going to tell somebody how you feel, keep it simple, okay? The Nine of Swords is, I think, overthinking and over-explaining right now, you know? And this is kind of like saying if you don't really know how to talk to somebody right now, maybe you stay home and you write a letter. Or you put it into a text message or a tweet, right? Has to be only a certain amount of characters. It keeps it short. That you have to be more concise and just more simple. That's the idea here, right? I think that right now journaling is going to be a really big help for you. Trying to get all your thoughts and feelings out on paper and just keep writing. And let that writing come from your heart. No censorship, no editing. Let it all spill out onto the page because that's part of your Mercury in Cancer up here, right? Let your feelings just spill out all over the page. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. You don't have to use punctuation. It doesn't even have to be readable by anybody but you. Maybe you've got your own cipher or your own language or something like this, right? Your own kind of alphabet, which I think would be very cool to learn something like that. Like shorthand, you know, but our own unique shorthand. And just let it all come out and don't edit it, don't censor yourself, because what you can do then is you can refine that. Because that's a way for you to kind of process how you're feeling and get all your ideas out on paper. Everything that you kind of want, everything that's been going on with you really is just like an emotional release, okay, onto the page or the typewriter or the computer or whatever. Because from then you can sort of distill it down to like, what does all that really mean? What is it that I'm really trying to say? Okay, maybe some of you are an artist, a poet, a writer, a singer, songwriter, something like this, right? And it's kind of like just record, just hit record and just play the guitar. Just sing into the microphone. Whatever nonsense comes out, okay? Because in there is going to be the essence. In there is going to be the idea that you're really looking for, okay? I think Spirit right now is saying that a lot of you are very sensitive to the opinions of others. So it's kind of like keep yourself in that safe place where you feel comfortable expressing your heart. So don't open yourself up to anything that you know is going to make you want to shut down again. Does that make sense? So I know we kind of have a conflict here because this is that vulnerability. This is you getting back on the road and doing that. But I think just like keep it safe. You know, don't necessarily show everybody the unfinished work, right? If you're going to send somebody a letter, don't send them the big pile of papers that we just, kind of mind dumped onto the page, right? Send someone the refined version, the shorter, distill it all down to a text message and share that, right? So keep yourself safe right now because I feel that there is a lot going on. It's kind of like if you journal, you're not letting everybody read your diary, but you need that for you. But kind of, keep it safe. Okay. We have the star card here, which is really an inspiration. It feels like there is hope. There is a renewal of your path. I feel like you're getting back on the road toward your dream, toward your hope, your wish, your aspiration, toward your goal. A renewal of that inspiration, because I feel like you had the disappointment. We dry docked the boat to repair the boat, work on foundational stuff, try to get back into the rhythm of our life. And now we're kind of hearing the whisper of spirit again. We're seeing that star twinkling in the night sky, and we're thinking, I'm coming after it. I'm going to do it. And we're going to do it safely, and we're going to do it in a very stable and responsible way. But this is what you're in service to. Okay? So I think a lot of you are feeling the call of your dream again. You're feeling the renewal. Yeah, we had a storm. We had a 5 of Cups, disappointment. I feel like you're processing that, and we're ready to get back to it. Okay? This is that car of hope. I think there's this feeling of hope. I feel that there are signs, symbols, and synchronicities that are happening outside of your awareness. You need to start paying attention to those. Look up at the night sky. You'll see a shooting star. That will be a sign. Okay? Once you start looking around at the world, look up, look down, look all around, you'll see signs. And when you think you see something, it's a sign. If you heard something or felt something or saw something or smelled something, I don't know, and you think, was that a sign? It was. Spirit's saying, yes, it was a sign. Okay? You're getting a very clear yes from the universe, but you got to look around for it. Okay? The 8 of Swords, keep it simple. Exactly, Jupiter in Gemini. Too many thoughts. Keep things clear. Okay? Let go of extra thoughts. Put everything down on the page and try to simplify what it is you're thinking and feeling. Okay? And so I feel that there is a lot of complexity going on. You have a lot of thoughts. A lot of stuff is inside of you right now. And I think it's a good time for this week for you to get it all out on the page or on the tape recorder, or, you know what I mean? Like, get it all out on canvas and just feel safe. Feel safe in your life to where you can journal for hours and hours and hours if you want to. You can just paint. You can sing into the microphone. You can play the piano or the guitar, and you can just, whatever your ideas are, get everything out, because that's going to help clear your mind. Your mind can be quiet. Okay? This, to me, feels like a lot going on in your mind. Okay? A lot is going on inside of you. And part of this 4 of Pentacles is taking time in a safe place so that you can listen to the heart, that you can listen to what's going on inside of you, and you can we can do this purge. It feels like it's a brain dump. It's a mind dump here. I think it's very emotional too. So that the 8 of Swords is, observing those thoughts, expressing those thoughts in a safe way, okay? But not getting attached to and not identifying with any of those things, but just getting everything out. And it doesn't mean that you're going to call up your best friend and you're going to give them everything that's in your mind. No, I feel like this is kind of like you. It's in a way where, like, there's nobody else around that's going to be judging you. So it's really a judgment-free zone. It's a safe place where you can just express yourself in any way you need to, okay? And then you can sort of refine it and boil it down and simplify it so that you have that sort of map that we were looking for. Does that make sense? The Princess of Swords at the end here. I feel like this process is going to make you feel a little bit more light, a little bit more sure of yourself, and a little bit more ready to express yourself however your heart is really needing to. So I feel like there is this idea of communication for you that's kind of a big deal this week. That there's something that you're trying to express, either creatively or romantically or professionally even, okay? Maybe you're working on a proposal at work or a project at school. Don't just give everybody your raw data, You're going to refine that data into something very elegant, graceful, simple, but beautiful, right? Complexity doesn't always mean greatness. Sometimes the best things in life are the simplest thing, like a plate of food. It doesn't have to be complicated. 2 or 3 ingredients, just done beautifully, is the best thing. Sometimes, simple is better. Simple is elegant. Yeah. I feel like this is you kind of, going through that communication, doing that, taking that risk. Giving yourself also permission to fail at it. Permission to still not be understood. You're going to do your very best to keep it simple and to communicate effectively. It doesn't mean everybody's going to understand you. And I think you're okay with that. You're prepared for that. This card's also curiosity. Okay? This card is also having a mind that really wants to explore and wants to communicate and wants to kind of dialogue with the world, And I think kind of getting your bearings, getting your ideas in order, figuring out exactly like what you're trying to say, and then saying that in kind of the most coherent way we can, is the practice. And it is practice. The pages or the princesses of the tarot are all about practice. It's not about perfection. It's about trying to organize our life, organize our thoughts, and get into that rhythm. And, and I feel like a lot of this is you looking for a 6 of swords. Maybe the mystery card will be a 6 of swords. Organization. Putting together the sort of final draft. Editing. First we get all of our thoughts and ideas and all of our creativity down on the paper. Then we start turning it into a story. Then we start refining that story until we have a final draft. That's the one we're going to turn in. Okay? So that's the energy this week. Let's see what this card is. 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands to me feels like overloaded with kind of a burden or even anxiety to me. But it's, to me, I think the simplification is going to be really key here. You don't need to be carrying all 10 of these wands with you. Okay? I feel like this is kind of us just like, I'm grabbing quantity here. I'm going to just take everything. I don't know what I need, so I'm going to take everything with me, right? Rather than paring it down and saying, you know what, I don't need most of this stuff. I need like maybe 1 or 2 of these things. It's like these are all the ingredients for your dinner, And the real master chef would say, I need like 2 or 3 of these, and that's going to make a masterpiece. So more is not always better. Harder is not always faster, or faster is not always, better, that sort of thing. So I think really, it's kind of simplifying life. Okay, it's lightening the load. It's lightening the mental load. Okay, first we got to understand what all we have out here. We got to gather all the stuff we have in the kitchen and put it all together on the kitchen table and look at it and say, okay, this is everything. And what do I actually need? So maybe some of you are paring down your life and simplifying your life in other ways, mentally, emotionally, but maybe physically too. Okay, maybe realizing that you don't need all the commitments that you have in a day. The calendar, maybe this is your calendar. It's full. Maybe you can look at it and say, if we look at the kind of the big picture of it, we might say, that's too much. I need to whittle things down. So I think whittling things down is a big theme for some of you this week too. Keeping it simple, back to basics. More is better. Less is better. Less is more, and just simple. And quieting down, and quality over quantity. And that more kind of rhythmic and relaxed vibe. This is overloaded. This is burnout. Okay, this is too much, too fast. It's too noisy. It's too much going on. I don't need 1,000 movements. I need 1 or 2 movements that are graceful. And anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Taurus on Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. and we're all in this together.